Welcome back to Goliath. My name is Chris Gamble. I am a hardware developer and as of a few weeks ago, a Bluetooth developer thanks to Goliath connectivity. Because Bluetooth support is now enabled on Goliath thanks to Goliath connectivity, and this is a whole new range of technologies, but at the end of the day, it's enabling you to have access to the things that Goliath normally enables on things like cellular, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, and Thread devices to now come to things like Bluetooth devices. And that's because they're going through a gateway and because of our new innovation called Pouch, which not only encrypts things, but also then it passes it through those gateways, and the data that arrives at the cloud looks just like a lot of the data that you might have coming from a directly connected device. Today, what I'm showing off is a Bluetooth digital signage demo. And this actually comes from requests from our customers, people who are out in the field doing this sort of thing. I really like it because it showcases the Goliath connectivity very well, but also it showcases the Goliath Teak board, which is the open source hardware that we just pushed out into the world. And one thing about these Teak boards is they have a lot of LEDs that are right in your face, and we're able to control them now from the cloud, which people working on digital signage also want to do. Digital signage is sometimes very bright, high resolution video displays, but sometimes it's also blinking displays on the side of a road. It might be control mechanisms within a factory. It really does span quite a large amount of hardware and capability types, but we're talking more of that blinky LED type of stuff here. And if you wanted to send out data to a bunch of devices that are on your factory floor or on the roadside signs that are out there, you might want to do that using something like Goliath connectivity. You could do that and you could target a range of devices using our settings service, which can target either the entire fleet, a subset of that fleet, or an individual device. So let's take a look at what that looks like with this very contrived small example here. In this case, the signage is really just acting as an approximation of what you might see on the side of a road. And of course you'd want to be careful as you do it, but you could send updates down to that device by targeting it using its device record on Goliath. This is the Teak board, which we're using for this demonstration here. This is really a stack of boards that's inside a small kind of ad hoc case with a battery, and it's got an nRF52840 on the back of it. One thing that's different about this is we're now showing the certificate ID that's coming off of here, or rather the common name that's part of the certificate. I named that Teak-102, and that's part of a project that I have that's talking back through the gateway also being part of that project. We can see that this project has 6 devices added to it, 4 of which are active here, Teak-101 through 104, and those are all sending back and getting data from the network through this Freedom RW612 Teak gateway, which is just a development board running our open source firmware. If we go and click into a particular device, this one in my hand is 102, we can see that it has recently been connected, but also that we can go and specifically change the message that's on the device. We can change it here and see the update. The code that's running on here is mostly just listening for updates on the settings service, and when it gets it, then it either checks whether there's an update to the arrow or something like the LED message, and then it calls the library that actually passes through this stored message, which is part of our IS31FL3731 driver now ported to Zephyr. Another thing we discussed in today's blog post is the provisioning and commissioning the fleet with certificates, which is required as part of our new Goliath connectivity. There is a Python script that's available to make this process easier, and we'll show it working here on a fresh device. Here I'm going to run this Python script with the name of my project, which is required as the organizational ID as part of the CA or Certificate Authority. This actually looks to see if there is a CA cert available, and there's not. I'm going to create one for the next year. And then I'm going to go and use this single device provisioning and create a new certificate for the device that I just showed. With this device plugged in, we can see that it's still listed as Teak-102. After erasing the board and programming with new firmware, we can see that there's no cert installed on here. So now I'll be able to go and run a command that programs on a new certificate called Teak-201. That SMP message there is expected just for the first time. If I go and restart, we should see Teak-201. Now this actually won't connect to the cloud until we push this new second root CA certificate up to the project. On the right side, we're looking at the gateway, and this device, which is trying to connect through it, but it actually does not have a CA cert up there yet. And so device TEAC201 won't actually connect until we have that root CA loaded into the Goliath console. Once we do that, we can see that this device starts connecting, that it even gets the command to go and connect and start displaying arrows. It's pretty unlikely that a display of this size is going to be directing traffic anytime soon, but it is a really good use case of digital signage and how you can extend it to your own projects and your own use cases. I really like the ability to push down data to Bluetooth devices through a single gateway so that each one doesn't need its own cellular or Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection. And we can still do interesting things and push out control surface data to a wide range of devices. In this case, it was only 4, but that could really keep going to hundreds or thousands of devices. So your imagination could be your guide on that. We'll have more demos of Goliath connectivity, of the TEAC board, and other things you could be doing with Bluetooth support on the Goliath platform in the future. If you have any questions, you can always go over to the Goliath forum, and we're looking forward to seeing what you build.